no doubt you're probably going to be quite busy at the moment.
That is true, actually. Things have suddenly got very busy, and we finished the record in the summer, and we're like, oh, we'll put it out in the spring, and sort of all of a sudden it's just gone crazy.
Yeah, some friends of mine were at the club show the other week, and were immediately raving about how good the new material sounds.
So happy that worked out. I think one of the reviews said they were very brave to try it, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, it was. It was the Louder Than War one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
from
exactly.
earlier on. Yeah, and
yeah.
Hey, if you can get them on side, then that's a great win to start the campaign with.
Yeah, I mean, why are they normally really hard on?
Well, they can be. John Robb runs it, and obviously he's got his roots back to proper 70s punk. He plays with the Membranes and things like that. So I think they're kind of seen as, kind of almost like the punky equivalent to NME. It's.
Well, I love that because that's my roots. I mean, my roots are punk. It's so maybe he tapped into that a little bit, and maybe
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I mean, I'll admit I'm of the age when Unbelievable came out as a single. I was clubbing in rock clubs, and it was great because to me it was pop music, but it seemed to include everyone.
Okay, I like that. That's a because I mean, inclusive is good, really.
Yeah. I mean, I was flicking through YouTube earlier on to show my partner, and I was came up with some MTV performance from like some end of year thing. Zach's there and everybody's there with mini dreads and everything like that, and I'm like, man, it's almost like a cross between like the Chili Peppers meets Faith No More meets Nine Inch Nails meets a little bit of Baggy and Primal Scream. It was such a really cool melting point.
I suppose so. That's a I suppose we were just sort of regurgitating. Sorry, Scott, I only just realised my screen wasn't on.
It's quite all right, don't worry.
We were just sort of reflecting what we were hearing, I suppose, at the time, and all those things were going on around us, and we all played in indie bands, and then all these sort of things were happening on the dance floor, all these other influences, and we were just like, oh, wouldn't it be great to just sort of mix a bit of that in with it all, and then that's sort of the way it came out.
Yeah, so originally was it quite organic, or like you say, you kind of said that you were taking all these different influences and just mix them all together? Was it just a case of you guys all getting in a room together and just going, hey, let's see what craziness happens out of this?
It started out with James and I just sat at my mum's piano, and we had this, we played guitar. We'd always been in guitar bands, and it's funny, he was younger than I was, and I'd seen him in a local guitar band, and and I'd actually had a record deal, so he'd been trying to get me involved in something he was doing, and we just ended up sat at my mum's piano one day, but with our guitars, but we loved the house piano thing.
Yeah.
And then, but I also had this mono synth, this sort of squelch. It was a Yamaha CS10, and then so this mono synth had that sound, that acid sound, that sort of sequencey sound. And then we did the ding 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 house piano thing that was so big in the sort of pop dance records at the time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we played the guitars as well and sang songs and just didn't want to do something. I remember James just going, I believe, like this. And I don't know, it was just sort of joyous, and we just did a bit of everything we loved, and it just sort of came together. And then the first rehearsal we got into with just that, but a lot louder, with really loud, distorted guitars. And it was like, whoa, this is great. And so that's sort of yes, or it was the definition of organic.
Yeah.
We just used what was around us.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember when I first listened to it, I was at a friend's house, and he was very into his dance music and things like that, whereas I was more, long hair, a bit more indie, a bit more rock, a bit more Jane's Addiction, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And he was playing all the stuff, and for me, I take things from like early Shaman songs and things like that. That really kind of reminds me of that. Like I say, it's almost like euphoric trance, big beat, almost just getting all these really cool sounds together and mixing them up, and just feeling such a groove. I mean, that's what I always got from like the EMF albums that I listened to when I was younger. It was just like really nice groove and feel. You would put it on to you'd chill to Nick Cave, and you would stick EMF on to get yourself ready for the night.
To party and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because I still think that when we play live, the joy is sort of part of it, really, and that's it is up, and it is about grooving and energy and just just that loving jumping around, making music. And
yeah, I mean the fact this was still being played in rock clubs, which always threw me, because rock fans could be quite, if it's not Whitesnake, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's funny. That's so funny. I remember we once ended up playing this it was like some sort of metal festival in Belgium. Heaven knows how we ended up on the bill, because it was and when we had that energy about it, and but it was they were proper rock. It was a lot of leather, and they were proper rock fans. But they ended up doing the conga, and this was I don't know. It was the most bizarre moment. They were obviously thinking, perhaps this is a bit. It's not quite as heavy as we're used to, but it's so joyous. We're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And there was this, literally bikers, a massive line of bikers doing the conga. It was the strangest thing. So
who needs mosh pits? When you can have a conga land.
Oh no. I don't know. Yeah, it was a funny moment, really. But hey, listen, it's a difficult thing trying to be all things to everyone. You can't really do that, and I think we come a cropper a few times because of that. Our crazy third album, Cha Cha Cha, was trying to be a bit of everything, and I think the cohesive thing about certainly Schubert Dip and Stigma and Go Go Sapiens, the latest album, is that we also wrote songs. The songs were about something, and we wrote them to mean something to us, and the stylistic thing flows from that. It's not style over content. It's sort of style. It sort of has to serve the emotion.
Yeah, like the song comes first, and then you guys treat it in your own individual ways to make it.
Yeah, and sometimes it comes together, but the song, it's about something, and the style of it comes out of what it's about, rather than like just trying to do something that sounds really cool and not really being about anything. And I think James and I are probably first and foremost songwriters, and occasionally we do things on acoustic guitar. You can play them on the acoustic guitar, and that's always a good test of something, whether it works on an acoustic guitar, it works with a band, and often the remix as well. We always do lots of remixes. We always love doing the remixes, and it's great to take elements of a song and it works in another form, and I think it shows that there's some content if it does work in various forms, and maybe that's hopefully why it is more than like a stylistic exercise.
Yeah. So is that, do you think, the main kind of reason why he's kind of had a break after Cha Cha Cha? That kind of it doesn't quite feel right.
Because we really lost our direction. we were all over the shop. I think it had been tough on everyone. It was a manic 5 years, and we'd done. There's been a bit of like second guessing about what we wanted to be. Did we want to be cool, or did we want to be pop, or do we want to be underground, or do we want to be mainstream? And I think, no, there wasn't really a guiding direction on it. And I think it's a shame in a way, because, I look back at that smash hits era, when we were sort of like the pin-ups on the front cover of smash hits. And, we started out just trying to be in a cool rock and roll band, and then all of a sudden we were this pop band. And there was a little bit of reluctance, which is unfair, really. I mean, and can I say at this stage, one of the greatest things about the 100 Club show at Christmas, when we played there was all, there's all the guys that, there's the guys that come, the cool guys that come, and like always love going to see bands, but we've also got those girls that were young girls who used to read the smash hits when we first came out 30 years ago, are now in their 40s. They've got families, but they love rock and roll music. And it's like, in a funny way, we a few people have said this, we started on the, we discovered Unbelievable in this pop thing, and then Stigma made us fall in love with, rock and roll music. And we ended up going to see bands and getting in the mosh pit, and I love it. It's like, when you say it's inclusive, I'm glad it was inclusive. I'm glad we were a pop band and that it's there for everybody, because, why shouldn't anybody, have that experience of that,
exactly.
of the glory of the manicness of loud music, jumping around to loud music.
Exactly. I mean, music transcends everything, pretty much. It speaks to a commonality for everybody. You stick a drum beat down and you will have people nodding their head, no matter where you go in the world. So it was bizarre to kind of have that EMF, the gateway band to, from like pop into to rock music. They'll take it. Right. But no, I mean, I love those first 3 albums, and I know you guys have kind of been off and on since then, but you've still always been really busy doing, other things. I mean, I was doing a bit of research today, reading up on what you and James have been doing, and what is it? I mean, I had to make a list, because I was going, I have a Novello Award for writing songs with Beyoncé, for Beyoncé and Shakira, and global. I can't even speak. I've been speaking on phones all day with work, and all of a sudden, Golden Globe nominations, Grammy nominations, songs for Florence and the Machine and Texas for years, and the list goes on. You're just like, what, same guys?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just fell into that, really. After EMF. I did a couple of things and ended up working with Amanda Ghost, and she's a force to be reckoned with. And just, I sort of hung on to her coattails, and we went off writing pop songs and working at Sony in New York and doing all these things. And it was a wonderful experience. But perhaps, it became a little, how do you put it? Artificial, I suppose. Yeah. I think there'd been years of writing songs that went into those first few moments when we first met Beyoncé. I think Amanda had been approached by somebody saying, "Oh, we want you to write a song for Beyoncé," and she said to me, "Look, this guy called me up, and it just sounds like bullshit. So let's go and meet him and let's see what he says." And so we were in New York, and we turned up at the Universal building. So we thought, well, that's a good sign, and goes up to this floor, and it's the Def Jam floor, and we meet this guy Tata Smith, and he's like, I want you to write a song for Beyonce. Pardon my terrible American accent. and there's somebody I want you to meet. And in walks Beyonce and Jay-Z. We're like, imagine, we were completely gobsmacked. And that, exactly. And then we so Amanda, who, at the time we were working on her solo album, and she was sort of like, well, I'm a songwriter. I don't write songs for other people normally. And I was like, shut up, let's just say yes. And she said, well, perhaps we can get to know you and like do something like, and she was like, no, I haven't got time for that. We've got a great backing track. A couple of people have tried to write on it, but they failed. It's got some real Spanishy guitars, and it's got for Shakira and some hip hop beats for Beyonce, and we think this could be great. And we got the studio booked 8 o'clock tonight, so see you at the studio. And we're like, whoa, because songwriting for us was like, you work on something and you go away and you do this and you do that, and then so we went back to the hotel and wrote Beautiful Liar in the hotel. And I guess that was what it was. That was taken advantage of years of songwriting, like to be able to go, okay, this is what we need to do. It's got to be about 2 women. It's got to be about this, bam, bam, bam. And boom, and it just came out like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it came out honestly. And wonderful, and that was a hit record. And we got an Eye of Novella, and we wrote a couple of other songs around that time. But then it became like, oh, you have to write a hit for us. No, you have to write a hit for us. And it's like, that's not why you write. I've never been able to write a hit because I want to write a hit. You write a song because you're excited about something, and being, with people that you love, and you got, you love the similar music or something, or you've got a connection to them, and it became, I don't know, it became a thankless task, I think.
Yeah, it became work rather.
It became work. And not to say that, I work really, really hard, and I put a lot of hours in, and I love what I do. But when it feels like, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it's like it makes it difficult, and I don't think you get good results. And eventually, that it became like that, and I feel like in my whole career, I've done good work when I've done what I love, and so I just think, well, I just got to do what I love, because when I try and do good work, I don't do, when I try and write a hit, I don't write a hit. But when I write songs with people I love, occasionally it's worked, and I love writing with James. I mean, James and I have always had a chemistry, and we've always written, and we, like over the years, we've written things and sort of nerded out about them a bit, and occasional things have come out. There was a 4th vinyl on the box set of like various demos we'd done over the years, and which were fun. We'd never sort of managed to finish them, but like after the 30th anniversary year, and it was such a great year, James was like, let's make a record. And I'm like, okay, but then let's not nerd about it. We're going to write a bunch of songs, we're going to record them, and that's it. And he's like, great. And that's what we did, and we did it really quickly. And again, with a joy and a passion that's a wonderful thing. And I think,
I mean, I literally got the CD this morning from Matt, from the PR company, and I was like, I've been working all day, so I was like, can I listen to it while I'm on calls? No, best not. So I've had a quick listen just before the interview, and I'm like, this sounds like EMF. This doesn't sound like, let's 30 years on, what's changed. There's still the feel there, and the kind of passion. I mean, the first single, Sister Sandinista, I was like, Sandinista, is that like a Clash kind of reference? But I was listening to the whole thing. It was like, this, I can imagine Joe Strummer doing this, because he had his kind of like dancey, dubby kind of moments, and I really picked up on that. And I'm like, this is just like, it's the same progression from Cha 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 and Stigma and Schubert Dip, you can see that line. It's just, you know, the technology's a little bit better. You know, you've aged a bit, so you've got that little bit more of a take on the world.
Yeah, I think that's a fair appraisal. You know, that it is. We still love the grooves and the guitars, and yeah, and like in terms of subject matter, there's a lot about sort of getting older and looking back there, and but still, you know, being young at heart, I think, and it's difficult for us to look at it, you know, because we're so involved in it. But so it's great that people turn around and say, "Oh, I see that," and I see that a development from what was happening before. And yes, I mean, we still love. I mean, James is still such a techno head with his beats. He's still, you know, there's a couple on there that just came from him doing his techno beats, and you know, me sticking some guitars on it, and other things where we work them up with a drummer and with Abe Todd, who's an amazing drummer, and so yes, you know, similar things, but there's things we could never have written when we were younger. You know, when you look back, and back, there are things about getting older, like you know, like Never Die, and you know, looking back at the people we've lost, like Sparks and Flashes, and even just like in the first opening song, you know, now we started, don't stop now, we started it, you know, soon be gone, so we're doing it right now, you know, it's like you can't help feeling like we got to make the most of this while
exactly. It felt like a real kind of call to arms, especially after the past couple of years and all the shit with Brexit and everything like that. It's kind of like, there's crappy stuff going on, but you know what? We could still dance, we could still enjoy ourselves, and that comes through perfectly. You know, I mean, it was just literally a quick listen that I had, but I'm like, excellent, right? I'll do the interview, then I can have a proper listen tonight, you know, when my partner's out. So yeah, really looking forward to that. How did you and James kind of come together really for this album then? Did you do a lot through like lockdown, or was it kind of afterwards kind of go, hey, let's do this properly now?
Well, I mean, James is amazing, because like back in the day, I think he was a very reluctant rock star. You know, he'd come out on stage and go, "Hello, thank you," and that would be sort of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like over the years, he's ended up, you know, he teaches music to you know, kids in a secondary school, and he's more of a rock star now than he ever was. You know, he goes on stage with such joy, and he's so funny and like so like up for it, and it's so infectious. And watching him over the pandemic, he did his whole series, Tonight Matthew recordings, which are he just enlisted various indie pop stars to do recordings, and then he also sort of put together our recordings, online recordings of various tracks of ours, and just generally engaged with people online, and our socials have started taking off more than they ever have, and I think you could see people engaging, and you know, not only us but the fans wanted to sort of be, you know, enjoy that part of their life, and then, you know, with the box set and the gigs, you know, the 30th anniversary gigs, we thought, we'll do some merch and see how that goes, and it went so well. We're like, well, why don't we just like leave that money in EMF, and you know, that we can use that to sort of make and promote a new album, and so it, you know, in a funny way, I think it came from James's enthusiasm, and you know, me seeing that, like it was like, I was just like, now's the time, you know, and
almost like he's infected you with the enthusiasm, and
exactly. And it's funny, years ago we put a couple of new songs, we almost did it, but I don't think James was ready. And I remember saying to Stevie, to the bass player, because Stevie was like, these songs are great, we've got to do it, and I'm like, I'm not sure that James is ready yet. But when I said to him then, and this is a good 10 years ago, and I said, when James is ready, you'll know, and and we'll just press the button. And I think he's ready. And so we had such a brilliant time, because James lives in the Yorkshire Dales, and the summer in the Yorkshire Dales was lovely, and I'd just go up there and we just hang out and record some stuff, and we recorded the drums in a little studio up there, which was lovely, with a little stream going by it. It was just how it should be, like it was fun and just easy, and
kind of the reasons why you got in a band and started making music in the first place, to kind of like enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, it's about the people ultimately. Is I think you've got to have that energy and then just starting to put the live thing together. Yeah, exactly, the connection. Yeah. Connection.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the dates and I'm like, can I make any of them? Damn it, no. But
where are you, Scott? Where are you based?
I'm just outside of Durham in the northeast.
So you're a bit of away. So
yeah.
And Huddersfield's still a bit of away from you, right?
A little bit. Plus, I've got a couple of cats that I need to look after. So if my late nights are well behind me now, unfortunately.
You're a man after my own heart.
Yeah, normally in bed by 10 o'clock with a good book.
No, I love that.
Gone as the hedonistic lifestyle. But no, I mean, just to see you guys doing dates again, and I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I know, like I say, I had friends seeing you guys the other week at the launch gig, and I've got friends coming to the Bedford gig because they live there, and it's just like, man, so jealous, because there's, I mean, I really hope that this takes off, because I love it. The bits I've heard of it, it's just kind of, like I say, it gives you that feeling inside, that you've had a shit day, you can put it on and feel uplifted by it. And
right. Well, that makes me happy to hear that.
Oh, good. You should be happy. Are there any further plans from what you guys are going to do? You're just going to kind of feel out how the album goes, what people think about it, see how the upcoming live shows go?
Well, James, we were meant to do the Shine On weekend in Budapest, which got cancelled, and we both put a weekend aside for that. So James was like, well, why don't we just do some more writing? So, hopefully we'll have something out again fairly soon afterwards. And the impetus will continue. And
like, how are you finding as well the change in the music industry? Because obviously, I mean, I know you've been involved with A&R, that sort of thing, since sort of like between EMF kind of stuff. How are you finding now? Because I mean, obviously before you had to pay through the nose to go into a studio, whereas now you can kind of, like you say, sit by a stream with a laptop and make it all almost guerrilla-like.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. I mean, I remember my studio back in the day; it was just like enormous and had all. Now I can just do it all in the laptop, and I think you still need to do some stuff with like the live recording stuff. You still got to get in a studio to record a drum kit, but that's good that there's still that, because it's a shame, because like my son's into making music, and he makes beats, and it's all in the laptop, and I think he loses something from not being able to get into a room and thrash it out.
Yeah,
with a drum kit and some amps. And
there's something nice about standing on a stage and hearing a drummer behind you and just feeling the air from the kit kind of hitting the back of you. And
yeah, exactly. Are you a musician then? Are you?
Yeah. I've played in bands since
well, then
mid 90s. Yeah. So
having the drummer smash a cymbal right next to your ear is like...
and you sit there going, oh. You're packing everything up by yourself again tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's live.
But I mean, I think people kind of miss that now, because you've got the great ability now to work from home, to do everything on a little laptop, process your beats, do all your back and everything, decent mic, do some vocals, bash, done. But you kind of miss that kind of trailing around playing shitty pubs on a Saturday night, asking, "Could you cover Tina Turner?" Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
good.
a loss.
You pay your dues, don't you?
But it's almost like taking the punk scene and the punk kind of background that, you know, we've kind of like sounded like we've both kind of come from. Now it's just a different approach. It's more, I'm going to do this myself. I don't need anybody else. It's a different kind of thing. But again, that's coming up with good music as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's like the great thing about bands, when I was young, we all had guitars and we all got in bands, and you had to have that collaboration. And now you can sit there on a laptop and do your thing. And you know, it's like I keep saying to my son, you got to find collaborators, you got to work with people, and it's good, he's doing it, but it doesn't happen as a matter of course. It doesn't happen because, a drummer can't sit there by himself. You got to play in a band with somebody, and that was a wonderful thing. You start, the bands I played with, there were people, and you mix it up, and it'd be this way and that way, and it was a good.
Like you see, you get people sort of like feeding in different influence, like James was with like his techno side, and he's kind of like euphoric kind of house piano kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
if you'd sat there on your own, you probably wouldn't have had that kind of side. And
no, that's really not. No, so it's like that's a different thing. But the technology, though, is amazing. Because, oh my God, the years we spent trying to get electronics to lock with live drums, And now you press a button and ping, and it's all quantized, and ping, it's all there. And it's like, I wish I'd had that before. So I loving that.
Yeah. So you're kind of seeing how things go. Hopefully, we'll get some more material, even though we've just had Go Sapiens. Well, not had it, but about to have.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like everything's going really great in the camp for you guys.
Everyone was, after the gig at the Water Rats when we did the new album, everyone was so happy because the reception was great, and we really didn't know we didn't how it would go down, and so that's really given us a spring in our step for the tour.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you think Bruce Springsteen's only kind of recently in the past 10 years done full album shows in his live sets, so the fact you guys are going out and go, right, brand new album, here you go, bang, 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 bang.
Exactly. Bruce Springsteen, eat your heart out.
Yeah, come on, man. He has to play catch up.
Get rid of times, Bruce.
Oh, man. Is there anything that you really kind of hope for the future, maybe for yourself or for EMF? I mean, what's kind of like ticking your boxes at the moment?
Well, I just hope that we can do it on a scale that it, that we still love it, I think, because that in a funny way, that it's good because we did it because we love it, and already it's going a bit crazy, and there's all that and it just reminds me a little bit of back in the day, and if it gets all out of hand again, then I think that would then you just get confused. I don't know, like you said, like today, you finish one thing and you go to do another thing, and then you're it's just crazy, and you just want to stop and put some music on and do it for the right reasons. And I think it would be lovely to be doing it at a scale where you can do it for the right reasons. And I think that's fine. I don't think the world is waiting for a new EMF album. I don't think we have any expectations that we're going to be number one in the States again or anywhere, except maybe Latvia somewhere. But it would be lovely to, the reception has been great. I think it would be lovely to feel the love and give the love out there and play some shows and just get out there and do our thing and just enjoy it, without getting too crazy. And
exactly. I think it's all we could ask for at the moment for everyone, really.
Right.
Yeah, damn right, man. Well, I will let you get going because no doubt you've got 1,001 different things to do, and it's James's birthday as well, isn't it, today?
Yeah, it is James's birthday.
Yeah. So happy
Although
birthday,
he's
James, if you ever see this.
Oh, I will pass that on.
Excellent.
I'll pass
Cool.
on. I mean, he's up in the Yorkshire Dales, and I'm here in London, so I won't get to see him today. But I have already given him my best. And
no doubt you have. But yeah, Ian, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure chatting to you. You know, if you ever do come up Newcastle way, honestly, I'd love to get together with you guys. You know, have a proper chat and But again, absolutely fantastic from what I've heard. I'm already kind of wondering, do I buy the vinyl or do I buy one of the vinyl packages? So,
good man.
Yeah, that's me sold on it already.
Thank you.
No, thank you very
really
much.
Appreciate that. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, me too. Have a great evening, Ian, and hopefully we'll catch up down the line at some point.
Yeah, if we're come up that way, we're going to hang out and have a drink.
Definitely. I'll make sure Matt sorts something out.
Wonderful.
Cool. Excellent. Enjoy you. Look after yourself, Ian. Take care. Bye now.
You too. Bye.
Bye.